my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Olivia and I'm so very glad that you clicked on today's video. And today we're going to be talking about my November TBR. So in the past, if you've watched my videos for a while now, or if you decide to take a chance and look back, I would always put 8 to 9 books on my TBR. Really ambitious, trying to read a whole bunch of stuff, but I am a mood reader. So therefore, I struggle with that because maybe halfway through the month I want to read something else, or I'm in the middle of a book and then I see someone talking about another book and then I want to pick that up. So I've kind of dwindled down to a doable number, and for me that's around 4 to 5 books. And so today I want to talk to you guys about those. And so without further ado, let's jump into today's video. So I have 4 books that I want to talk to you guys about, and I'm super excited about it. I feel like I'm finally at a point of my reading journey where I'm reading books because I want to read them. Now I know I've said this in the past, but I still think that my reading was dictated based on book talk, Booktube, what other people were saying, what was popular at the time. And now I feel like I'm actually reading things that I want to read, that I'm interested in, that are something that I'm either actively learning about or I'm just intrigued by. And so I'm really excited about that. So I want to talk to you about those books. The very first one will be a book on my Kindle, currently in the middle of 13. Loving this, cannot wait to get the review out for you guys. But that book, which I don't think I even have downloaded yet, I'm going to, because I needed to double check and make sure that it was available either Kindle Unlimited or Libby. Editing Olivia here. So unfortunately, the book was no longer available when I went to go download it. And so I decided that I'm going to start reading before the coffee gets cold. I've heard so many things about it. I've been recommended it a few times. So I thought it would be perfect to pick it up. So that will be the book that I'll be adding in its place. I do plan on picking up The Convenience Store by the Sea once it's available on Libby. But for now, I'm really excited for this book. And so I figured out it was available on Libby. So I actually have it here, but I want to tell you the author. So the first book that I want to read for November is going to be The Convenience Store by the Sea. And this is by Sonoko Machida. I believe that's how you pronounce their name. But I'm really excited about this. I just finished The Convenience Store Woman. I also have been really into like Japanese literature and like different types of anime recently. I do have this goal and dream of traveling to Japan sometime in the future, and so I definitely feel like I'm branching into this part of me that I didn't know that was there, this interest that lied underneath the surface. And so I'm really excited to read this book. And basically, just to give you a little background if you've never heard of the book, this is basically a quaint seaside town in Japan that is full of hidden delights and one unexpected treasure, which is a 24/7 convenience store. And so basically you're just watching different people interact with the employee of the convenience store, different stories, their lives. Is pretty much what made up Convenience Store Woman, which I also recently finished. Just kind of all the people in the community and their way that they interacted and interpreted the store, and how the workers who worked there also felt about working at the convenience store. So I'm really excited to get into that. The second book, to keep that theme going, I'm going to be reading Days at the Morisaki Bookshop by the author that I cannot pronounce their name, so I will let you look at it yourself. I am so excited to read this. I picked it up at Barnes & Noble maybe a week and a half ago now, and what drew me was the cover. First of all, it's super thin. This has about 147 pages, under 150, super quick read. But the cover, something about Japanese literature and Asian literature in general that I have found with looking through different books as of late, is that they put so much attention to detail on the front of their covers. And I feel like for me as a reader, I really get pulled in by the cover. When I see the cover, I'm automatically like, okay, this is something I need to pick up and read, which I feel like most people are. But usually the cover is enough to sell me without even reading the synopsis. And so I'm really, really excited to pick this up. And I'll also post on the screen some footage of a couple areas in Barnes & Noble, a couple that I went to, that have an entire wall and table dedicated to books like this. And let me tell you, I was so excited. I added all of them to my TBR list. Like, I cannot wait to get through them all. But yeah, this one basically follows a 25-year-old woman who has lived a pretty easy life. Things have gone her plan, but recently she has left her boyfriend, who she was supposed to be getting married to, who was cheating on her, and is now marrying another woman. So basically it's just her life of being a part of this bookstore. I believe maybe it was like a grandfather or an uncle, or maybe I'm thinking of another book. Yeah, her uncle Yeah, in the depths of her despair, she received a call from her distant uncle who told her about the bookstore and it's like, hey, I think you should come. Your life is pretty much crap right now and I think you need some help. And so while working at the bookstore, she meets this unusual man who's also living a very unconventional life. And his wife left him out of the blue 5 years ago. And basically, I think there's going to be a little bit of a romance. And so I am really excited to get into this book. I think it's going to be right up my alley. And something about the cat, that's all I needed. Super cute. But yeah, super excited to get into that. So that's kind of going to conclude that Japanese Asian literature that I've been into recently. And then I think I want to get into a little bit of nonfiction this month. If you saw my video, I don't know, a few videos back now, and a shorts I put, me and my mom have really been into the Holocaust and World War II and just nonfiction and fictional books around those time periods. And I've hauled a whole bunch of them. I've really been trying to get into nonfiction, and I find the best way for me to do it is to read stories from someone's life instead of reading like a history textbook. Going into someone's life story, them telling me how they're doing and what they're going through. And I'm currently in the middle of Most Beautiful Thing by Arshad Cooper, and that's basically him talking about his life of how it was to be the first of an all-black rowing team in high school and what that looked like in inner city Chicago. And so I'm really loving just following someone's story, taking it in and just experiencing it with them as if you're talking with them on the phone. And so I've decided that I'm going to also read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. I recently finished Night by literally his name is running a blank, but I'll put it up here. That was amazing. Now, I don't think I rated it on my Goodreads, but obviously it's a 5-star, but I feel like when you're rating someone's true story in their life, you almost can't do that. And so I recommend it like none other. And so I decided it would be good to pick up this one as well to give it a chance and see how I think. And then the very last book, which these are 4 books. I do have a couple that I'm kind of in the middle of deciding if I want to add to my TBR for November. And so if I do, it potentially will end up being an audiobook. I can't think off the top of my head of what I'd really like to do. I do know right now I'm in the middle of The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. I finished The Poppy War not too long ago, and I still have not finished that book. I have not really been in the fantasy mood, so maybe to add on a 5th book, I'll do the audiobook of that one instead of reading it. Maybe that might help. But to close off this video, the last book that I definitely want to make sure I read in the month of November is going to be by Frederick Bachman, A Man Called Ove. I believe that's how you pronounce it, or is it Ova? Someone let me know down below in the comments. But I'm really excited about this one. I ended up picking it up at a free little library in my neighborhood. I honestly feel like the person, or there is one person who literally goes to that little free library and fills it with gems. I mean, you guys, book of the month books, which I feel like you can find those anywhere because I don't know why people get rid of them so much. But like, and I'm trying to take the sticker off this book and I'm completely ruining it. Something about the stickers on the front of the covers, we need to have a conversation. This is like sucks. But yeah, someone who is also in the same neighborhood who must go to that little free library puts so many good books inside of it. And I find that I'm always able to find something good. And so this was one of the ones I picked up. I'm really excited to get inside of it. So basically this is like literary fiction, follows a very grumpy man who's living his very grumpy life and no one really knows why, and a cute little quaint family moves next door and his world gets turned upside down and basically they bring him out of his shell. And so I'm really excited to dive into this. It kind of a little bit reminds me of one of my favorite books of all time, You Are Here by David Nichols, in the sense that you follow a man who's been misunderstood and who's having a really hard time. And through the love of people and their kindness, he comes out of his shell and you get to know his true story and really who he is as a person. And so I feel like this is going to add some of that as well. So I'm really excited to get into this one. And this one is significantly longer. Let's see. This goes up to page 337. So not so much, about double the size of this, but it's like an average book length. So I am really excited to get into that one. So yeah, that's going to conclude all 4 books I will be reading in the month of November. Not the biggest stack in the world, but I mean, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have a great time. And if I do want to add a 5th book into the stack, it'll probably end up being The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang, finishing it, or what else do I have that I'm like really wanting to read? There is a book I really want to read, and that is by Nikki Erlich. I ended up reading the first book she came out with, The Measure, gave it 5 stars, and I loved it. I actually have a review of that on my channel. And the new book that she has that has just come out, I think it's called The Poppy Fields. Now, I saw it at Second and Charles, but it was kind of damaged, and they still had it for $35. So if I can find it on Libby, Kindle Unlimited, ebook copy, or potentially maybe at another store for a little bit cheaper, I definitely would love to get into that this month. But if not, those will probably be the 4 that I read, and then the 5th one, that audiobook, if I want to get into it. So yeah, I'm super excited. I feel like this is a good stack. It's manageable. I definitely want to get out a reading vlog for this one. I'm really excited about this, and this one as well, just to kind of sit down, dive into the book, tell you my thoughts. And so if that's something that you really want to see, I suggest that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a like, and stick around, turn on your notification bell so you know when I post some content. But yeah, that's going to conclude today's video, and I'll catch you all in my very next one.